Forgiveness is a powerful force that can change lives and bring healing to even the deepest wounds. It's a gift that we give to ourselves and to others, and it's at the heart of what it means to be a follower of Christ. But forgiveness is not always easy, and letting go of resentment can be one of the hardest things we ever do. In this devotional, we will explore the power of forgiveness and how we can let go of resentment to experience greater freedom and peace. If you enjoy this content, consider liking this video and subscribing to FaithStream. The Bible is full of stories of forgiveness, from Joseph forgiving his brothers for selling him into slavery to Jesus forgiving those who crucified him. These stories remind us that forgiveness is not just a nice idea, but it's a fundamental aspect of our faith. Jesus teaches us to forgive others as we have been forgiven, and he tells us that if we do not forgive, we will not be forgiven. This is not to say that forgiveness is easy or that it comes naturally, but it's a choice that we must make if we want to experience the fullness of God's grace. One of the biggest obstacles to forgiveness is resentment. When we are hurt or wronged by someone, it's natural to feel angry and resentful. We may replay the hurtful words or actions over and over in our minds, nursing our wounds and holding on to the pain, but this only serves to keep us trapped in a cycle of bitterness and anger. In order to truly forgive, we must learn to let go of our resentment and release the person who hurt us from our anger and judgment. Letting go of resentment is not easy, but it's essential if we want to experience the power of forgiveness. We must begin by acknowledging our feelings of hurt and anger and bringing them before God. We can be honest with Him about how we feel and ask Him to help us release our resentment and choose to forgive. We may need to do this many times, as letting go of resentment is often a process that takes time. Once we have brought our feelings before God, we can begin to focus on the person who hurt us. We can try to see them as God sees them, with compassion and understanding. We can try to put ourselves in their shoes and imagine what it must be like in their situation. This does not mean that we excuse their behavior or deny that we are hurt, but it does mean that we extend grace and seek to understand rather than judge. Finally, we can choose to forgive. This may be a difficult choice, but it's one that we must make if we want to experience the power of forgiveness ourselves. Forgiveness does not mean that we forget what happened or that we pretend that everything is okay. It simply means that we choose to release the person who hurt us from our anger and judgment, and that we commit to moving forward in love and grace. The power of forgiveness is not just a nice idea. It is a reality that can transform lives. When we choose to let go of our resentment and forgive others, we open ourselves up to the healing power of God's grace. We experience greater freedom, peace, and joy, and we become more like Christ, who forgave even those who crucified him. As we strive to live lives of forgiveness, let us remember that it's not always easy, but it is always worth it. Let us bring our feelings of anger and hurt before God, seek to understand those who have hurt us, and choose to forgive. And let us remember that the power of forgiveness is not something we can manufacture on our own, but it's a gift that comes from God's grace. May we be open to receiving this gift, and may we extend it to others as well. Amen.